Everybody, thanks for joining me as we take a look at your weekend forecast for Christmas weekend, December 22nd through the 25th. And the weather looks pretty quiet for the weekend, which is good. No rain, no snow, so unfortunately, but could have a few flurries, not going to be enough to coat the ground. So kind of you get what you get in terms of snow on the ground for Christmas, which is basically no snow for Christmas, unfortunately. But sometimes that's just the way things go weather-wise. It is what it is. So let's take a look at what's going on across the country. First of all, still active subtropical jet stream. We've talked about this all fall and into the winter as El Nino has really kicked up. This is going to dominate our weather pattern. There's really two ways that this can work itself out generally. Right now, we've got a lot of marine, warm or mild marine air across the central or across the United States, and that's what's kind of going to head in our way after today. Today's a nice cold day. Actually, today is sort of the other thing that can happen, though, which is where you've got all this energy to our south. It kind of stays to our south, and it allows cold air to move in over the northeast. So we can get cold stretches, probably not outbreaks of of like big outbreaks of Arctic air don't tend to be real common, but these little hits of cold air does happen quite often during El Nino years. But the other thing is often when storms form, they tend to be much warmer and not have as much support from the northern jet stream. And so the rain or mixed precipitation chances are unfortunately probably going to be the norm for the winter. Doesn't mean we can't get snow. We could get a good stretch, but currently it's sort of played out the way you would probably expect an El Nino winter to play out. Also, something that's very typical of El Nino, huge storm here in Southern California into Arizona, looking at some parts of the desert here, getting 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. So they're dealing with some of the flooding issues that we sort of dealt with some on Monday. Thankfully, it seems like most of the flooding issues were pretty mild, moderate, or minor to moderate in Vermont, especially southern Vermont. There were some places across New England, northern New Hampshire especially got hit really hard. But anyway, yeah, that's what's been going on. Here is a bit of a system that's going to move through Saturday night into Sunday. It will bring some flurries. They'll be widely scattered flurries. It's going to happen at night. You probably won't even notice that they happen. Probably not enough to coat the ground anywhere. And even if it does, it's going to be pretty warm on Christmas Day, particularly. Which would mean if there's any like dusting out there, it would melt anyway. But so let's take a quick look at what's going on radar here. You can see this is probably more impressive than it looks, and it's actually going to die somewhat. It's not, this moisture is not attached to Gulf of Mexico or Atlantic, and especially as we head into the winter and dew points drop across the country, although it is pretty mild and soupy across the southeast. You have to kind of tap a moisture source in order to get precipitation to fall across the northeast. And this system does not really have attachment to that. So it will come across, it will bring a lot of clouds on Saturday. We'll still have a little bit of sun tomorrow, but mostly cloudy. And then Sunday as well, a decent amount of cloudiness, but with a few flurries, probably most likely time frame for them would be anytime after midnight on Saturday night, before about 9-10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And like I said, relatively insignificant there for the most part anyway. So that's what that looks like. Let's take a look at those temperatures because before we get to the actual forecast. Chilly for a day, but you can see we got a pretty good warm up associated with that system across the central part of the country. We are going to move some of this mild air in, and we have basically mild air across a lot of North America actually. Very marine influenced out west. A lot of kind of Pacific air has moved in across the western part of the United States and has really infiltrated even the Mountain West, which is kind of keeping temperatures kind of mild across the west. And then we have tapped some of that. The southeast has been pretty warm as well, a little chilly in across parts of the not so deep south, but particularly across Texas here, pretty warm overnight. And this air is going to head in our direction and really kind of warm us up for most of the weekend. So I would say in terms of things to do for Christmas, what you're going to want to do for this weekend is think about Christmas more like like Thanksgiving in terms of your outdoor activities for your forecast, right? So it'll be a good time to go for a hike Christmas Day. Most of the trails, so you get high up in elevation. First of all, they're muddy because of rain, so kind of be careful about not causing too much damage to things like that. But also, but a lot of places, nice day to go out for a walk or a hike on Christmas Day. Or get up there and play some touch football, something like that. Kind of things you do on Thanksgiving, probably. All right, anyways, today's chilly. It feels like winter today. We won't get above the upper 20s mid 20s, low 20s for the ski areas today. Chilly day today. Overnight tonight, we cool back down one more time into the teens before we start to recover tomorrow. We are going to start to increase that temperatures. 36 tomorrow. We fall back overnight, Saturday night to 30. Again, these are widely scattered flurries, nothing too exciting. Christmas Eve day, a few flurries in the morning, then just cloudy. Temperatures rise up into the low 40s for most of us. Fall back to about freezing on Christmas Eve. So a nice kind of warmish Christmas Eve night. So, our Christmas Eve and overnight into Christmas morning. And so, and then Christmas Day, like I said, good day to get outside, go for a walk, things like that. It'll feel pretty nice outside. A little odd for Christmas, but that is what it is. No rain, which is always nice. We've had a lot of rain right around Christmas the last few years. That didn't happen this year, which is nice. And we'll fall back to about freezing Monday night into Tuesday. Let's take a look at those highlights real quick. Generally tranquil weather for Christmas weekend. A few flurries and snow showers Saturday night into Christmas Eve morning. A general warming trend through the weekend, seasonably warm and dry for Christmas Day. And our next system arrives in the middle of next week and does look like rain currently, unfortunately. So doesn't look like nearly as much rain as we got out of the last system. So not anything that's going to drop, flooding kind of rains, but definitely some rain with the midweek storm and almost no chance of snow with that. Even on the backside, really, unfortunately. So that's sort of what the forecast is. It is what it is. I will be back on Tuesday next week, since this is a 4-day forecast for your work week or vacation week, a holiday vacation week forecast. So I'll be back for that. If you have, I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. They help support what I do here at the West River Guy. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel before, I'd encourage you to do so. Make sure you don't miss any of my forecasts. And I will be back, like I said, on Tuesday next week to look at your work week.